they've been meeting. At this point, I've written down that they get to agree on any changes. Their agenda item last week, September 16th, if my recollection said, what are some possible recommendations? And then their process of selecting them. I sincerely hope that all of the emphasis that is happening to this issue right now will cause them to get better recommendations. We shall have to wait and see what they actually recommend. Although some legislators have advocated consistently for change, little happens. I want you to read the Desert News editorial. They said, there are occasions when lawmakers bent on a particular philosophy refuse to do the bidding of the people. For instance, state lawmakers either can't or won't institute meaningful legislative ethics reforms, despite years of public opinion polls and other measures that tell us Utahns clearly want them. So we believe we must turn to the people. And the people must rise up and make it clear that this is something that must be done. And the initiative process follows the source of that expertise. So the question is the current system working? At the end of the last legislative session, the Auburn Standard Examiner said that the legislators were experts at excusing bad ethics and gave them a B. The Salt Lake Tribune lamented lawmakers took only, quote, baby steps. The City Weekly, which is sometimes a little sensational, but I think you would agree. The City Weekly called their efforts, quote, I like this quotation, the best toothless reform. It just isn't enough, folks. It still exists at the bottom of the pack. And we need to change that. And for that reason, we give you the ethics initiative. I've included, before I sit down, one more cartoon by Calvin Rondell because I like him. He suggests that some habits just become so ingrained and they've got to be changed. And this is a habit that needs to be changed. Utah is often lauded as one of the best managed states in the Union. I am proud of that. I'm pleased with that. I commend our legislators. I commend our governor. I commend everyone who's led to that accomplishment. I only ask, why aren't we also one of the most ethical instead of lacking quality? Thank you.
Let me introduce David Irvine now. He's a former legislator of Bountiful and a practicing attorney, and he's going to speak for about 15 minutes about the specifics of the UED initiative.
Well, like most pieces of significant legislation, the initiative that we have spent a great deal of time thinking through and working on and debating and drafting doesn't go far enough to please some people, goes too far for some other people. We hope that is indicative of the fact that it ought to be somewhere within the parameters of reasonable balance. It doesn't solve all the problems that need to be resolved, but it's the best step forward in that direction that we believe has been available to the voters of Utah for many, many years. Our initiative does three things. The first thing that it does is establish an independent ethics commission. And let me just explain very quickly that by independent, we do not mean independent of the legislature. This is a legislative creature. It is intended and designed to serve a legislative function as opposed to having fingerprints upon it from either the judicial branch or the executive branches of state government. But it is politically neutral in the sense that it has been rather carefully designed to be free of a partisan political thumb. And that is well, there are many ways that this could be accomplished, perhaps, but the way that we finally settled on, while a bit cumbersome, we feel is a pretty reasonable approach for assuring political neutrality and independence of thought as ethical questions coming before that body. We have provided that the members of the commission, anyone who wishes to be selected as a commissioner, has to meet certain criteria. You can't have been a lobbyist for 5 years, can't have been an elected officer for 5 years, can't have been an officer of a political party, except for a voting precinct chair, vice chair, or county or state delegate for the previous 5-year period. The people who wish to be considered for appointment to this commission would be selected through a process to be established by the 4 principal leaders in the Senate and the House of Representatives, one from each party in each house. And those 4 individuals would have to unanimously agree on a list of 20 people who meet the eligibility criteria that the initiative sets out. And from that list of 20, 5 names would be drawn randomly from a hat. Those 5 names would become the members of the Ethics Commission. They would elect their own chair. They would appoint an executive director who is a full-time president. This executive director would be required to be, on the initiative's terms, a member of the Utah Parliament. We envisioned that they would also appoint some additional few staff members who would assist the commission in accomplishing its functions. We established in the initiative a code of legislative conduct. And in drafting that code, we again, as carefully as we could, considered many of the items that were shown in the presentation earlier and tried to address those issues as well as other fairly obvious issues of conflict of interest. One of the principles that we felt was very significant was the principle that legislative service ought to be treated by those who serve as the highest ethical responsibility, commensurate with the same kinds of responsibilities that people who serve as trustees, people who serve as directors and officers of public corporations, people who serve as agents, people who serve as trustees of trusts, owe to the beneficiaries of that service the highest degree that the law recognizes. And that standard, sometimes called the standard of fiduciary responsibility, is characterized by 3 things. First of all, it's characterized by an obligation of undivided loyalty. People who serve in those kinds of trust positions should not be out creating conflicts of interest. Attorneys cannot represent both clients in a dispute. They may not even represent a single client if they have had a previous relationship with another party in that case. We believe that legislative service also requires and ought to be treated as calling for that same kind of undivided loyalty and trust. Second obligation of a trustee is disclosure. In this respect, we believe that legislative candidates owe the public some reasonable access to enough information about potential conflicts of interest that the public can make a reasonable evaluation about whether there is such a divided loyalty that in certain circumstances a legislator may be put in a position where it is extremely difficult to represent the public interest as opposed to an employer's interest or a client's interest or some other relationship where there is divided loyalty. And finally, that third element in this fiduciary relationship is one of accountability. And so we've tried to tailor this code of conduct to those underlying core concerns. And then the third thing that we have done in